What is up, YouTubers? Charlie Hustle here. My desk is a freaking nightmare right now, but that's okay because we're gonna tear this thing down today. I've got some brand new gadgets, some electronics in from Amazon.com that I'd love to share with you guys. The main thing that we're gonna be hooking up today, and actually everything supports this, it's an HD PVR. I got the Hauppauge HD PVR. This is the gaming edition. If you've ever wondered how people get gameplay from their Xbox or their PlayStation and post it on YouTube, this is what they use. Well, it's one option. There's other options out there, but I'd say that this is probably the most popular right now. So that's one reason why I got it. We'll go over that more later as we go, but we've got some other things. This is an HDMI converter and a HDMI splitter, a bunch of cables, a USB hub, as well as a pretty cool surge protector because I need more outlets. So we'll go through all this. I'll put links to everything that I have here in the description below so you guys can find that. But let's go through the hookup of the HD PVR. For some reason, the folks out there in the world who make these things haven't gotten on board with the whole HDMI revolution, and it's all component cable. So I run an HDMI out of my Xbox right now and into the Samsung monitor. It only has HDMI and whatever that, I think it's a VGA, the typical type of computer plug. So the setup that I'm working with right now, I have my iMac coming out of there, VGA into the monitor, and then I have the HDMI out of my Xbox and into that monitor. So that way I can switch back and forth. I can either be playing games and have my computer stuff going on over here, or I can switch the monitor over and have the computer on both screens. This is really good when we're working on our podcast because I have to have a lot of things going on the screen, so it's good to have that extra real estate. So in order to get HDMI back into, well, let me go through this. The typical way that you would hook this up, and the way that they recommend, is the component cable out of your Xbox into here, component cable out of here, and into your TV or console, and then a USB across and over to your iMac or your PC or whatever you're using. So unfortunately, I can't do that because I can't get component into my monitor there. By the way, that's I think a 2 millisecond lag monitor, so it's very good for gaming. I picked it up at my local Best Buy just on a whim one day, and I've been loving it ever since. Before I had that, I was playing on a 52-inch. Man, it makes a world of difference. So much better working with something like that. So what I needed to do then is convert from HDMI to component, which is this thing here. But at the same time, they say there's no lag when you're coming in and going out of this, but let's face it, you know there always is. So I decided I would buy this HDMI splitter. I believe this is also necessary to do if you're planning to live stream. I'm not sure, but I just thought this would be a fun way to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the HDMI out of the Xbox into this HDMI splitter. One leg of the HDMI is going to go right back into the monitor, so it's pretty much direct from the Xbox. The other leg is going to go through the converter and then come out as component into the Haupauge, and then from the Haupauge it's going to go into the computer with the USB. So without further ado, I'm going to get started tearing things up here. This is probably going to take a while, so maybe we'll do a little groovy fast forward if I can figure that out. And I'll see what happens. Hopefully come out with a nice, clean, and tidy setup. But you never know. Alright, here we go. Now, we're going to crack into this guy and see what it looks like. This is the major difference. There's two differences between the gaming edition and the non-gaming edition. And the difference is you get this cable here. This is a component out for either your Xbox or your PlayStation. It's got all sorts of connections there. The other difference is the gaming edition has a green light. So I know these are available locally at some Best Buys, but they do not carry the gaming edition. If you really need one in a hurry, just go pick up the non-gaming edition. It's pretty much the same thing. I think there's also a difference in the software. However, most people don't end up using the software that's included. For a Mac, you're going to need to get your hands on either iTV, that's IEYTV2 from Elgato. I'll link that in the description as well. Or HD PVR capture, and I heard that this software was developed by one of the engineers who worked with Hauppauge as a solution, but wasn't included in the final package, so they sold it separately. I've heard that the iTV is a little bit slicker, but the HD PVR capture will work just fine, and I believe it's like $30 to $40 cheaper. So I'll let you know more. I'm going to try out the iTV just because it's more expensive, and I hate having money around. So I'm gonna buy that, and I'll try that out and let you guys know how that does. So yeah, you can see you got all sorts of different options to hook up to different consoles, and then your components here. But we're not gonna use it. There you go. There you have it. And on the back, so your connections. This thing, it's surprisingly light. I wouldn't expect it to be this light, but I guess it does the job. So without further ado, we'll get back to the setup. The cool thing about this is it has these guys here, so I can rotate it like that, or anywhere in between. So I can have one there, one there. That way, if you get those big, ugly plugs, you can put them wherever. It's got cable, and it looks like phone here. That's not even like Ethernet Cat 5, so I don't know who would use that. But anyhow, this is why I bought it. There's also this part here where you can run your cords through if you want to try to keep them organized, which I might try to do. With your Xbox 360, I believe they now have aftermarket components that allow you to take optical and HDMI out now, but on the initial package option you cannot. What you can do, however, is take the component and optical out and take the plastic part off of here. There's tutorials on YouTube, I'm sure you guys can find them. You take that off, and then you can plug your optical in, and that gives you room to get your HDMI in there as well, because otherwise if it has a plastic shroud on this, you do not have access to the HDMI. So I like this because I like to get that HDMI out, like I said, into my monitor, and I do like the optical, which goes into my Astro Mix amp. That brings us to the HDMI splitter. Here you go. This is from, sorry guys, View HD, a pretty green box. Top flips open. There you have it, some directions. The power adapter. All this stuff has power adapters. That's why I got that large supply. So hopefully we'll have enough. So input and 2 output. Next up is the HDMI video converter. HDMI. There you go. Ernest, thanks for subscribing, man. The pluggable USB 2.0 10 port hub. This is a self-powered unit, so yes, it has another plug on it to go with the 8 million that I already have. This is the highest rated on Amazon.com. It got a lot of ratings, so this is one I chose. There's many out there. I'm sure there's many that work well as well. Alright guys and girls, that about wraps it up. I still got to find a place for all these and do some more cleaning with the setup here, just sort of feel things out. But it's all hooked up, I'm ready to fire some things up and see how it goes. Let's take a look here. Alright, so you can see it's kind of nice, but you can start to see on the bottom there. Fail. That's terrible. It's about 1 billion wires. I was able to get everything hooked up. I used all 12 of the power outlets that I purchased, and we'll probably need more with some other accessories that I have laying around that I'll need to hook up. But there you have it. That's my gaming system. So we'll get this thing fired up, see how it works. I'll probably do a review of how to set it up. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. But I hope you guys enjoyed this so far. As always, leave some comments. I try to be as responsive as possible to people's comments and get back to you in a timely fashion. If not, just be patient and I will. I'll try my best to do that. So this is Charlie Hustle. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks.